What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Ark. I'm Andrew, and this week we're talking about how to set up the perfect leopard gecko cage. We have 7 examples behind me, and we're going to talk about all the aspects you need to include when you're setting up your very own leopard gecko cage. Let's go take a look. I'm Andrew Edwards. I've spent most of my life learning about animals. And now, focusing on education, breeding, care, and the discovering of new animals. Welcome to Andrew's Reptile Ark. So like I said, we have 7 examples of different leopard gecko cages. Each with its own theme. They all look different. Not one of them is the same. So this is Spyro's, our very first one that we're looking at. He's back there, right in here. He might come out and join us later in the video. All of these guys share the same thing, and that is the same Exoterra cage, besides this one up here. They're all the same 18 by 18 by 12 inch high. And this Exoterra works fantastic. They're about a 20-gallon tank, which is amazing for your juvenile or adult leopard gecko. And we're going to be posting short videos of all the cages so that you guys can see it if we don't get to them all. But all these share very similar characteristics as well. Not only are they made by the same company, but we have key aspects that we're going to be talking about. A hide, temperature. This one has a heat mat, but you can also have a heat bulb. The substrate below. The layout is approximately the same in every single cage. The support, what I call the supporting decor, like the leaves back here and the leaves right there. And of course the food and water dish that we'll briefly touch on, but it's not going to be that big of a topic in this video. So as Spyro comes out, we will keep talking. The first topic I want to be covering is hides. These guys are nocturnal lizards. They really only come out at night. So you need to have some sort of cave or multiple caves so that they can hide during the day. This is Spyro. As you can see, they're very friendly. They love to come out. And he will probably be with us for the rest of the video. Now, he's a boy, and he's actually a father of, well, hopefully he's the father. We just bred him with Argo, our female, so hopefully we get some eggs in the near future, which is awesome. And they do sit on you a lot. So back to the cave. We have a cave that he was in. We have this big one that's used as a human hide. So when he needs to shed, he'll go in there and obviously be able to get the shed off a lot easier. And this is also a cave you can go through there or back there. So caves are very important. It allows them to feel secure during the day and also helps them hide from the heat of the sun. Another key aspect that I want to talk about is multiple hides. You don't just want to have one. This one is over here. The heat pad is under there. We'll touch on that later. Over here there's another one, and one right under the heat pad so that they can get nice and warm. So we'll move over to the next cage, which is Galaxy, our other male. Now all our leopard geckos are different morphs, so not one of them looks the same either. So we do have a cave in here. Galaxy's a little different. He does have a heat lamp instead of a heat pad. We could briefly touch on heat. Whether you use a heat pad or heat lamp doesn't really matter for these guys. This heat lamp stays on 24/7, so if he ever wakes up during the day, he can obviously be warm. Same thing with the heat mats. You want them on all the time, not just during the day or during the night. This is Galaxy peeking his little head out. And same thing, not as many caves in this one. You have the human hide we use these for human hide mostly. Another cave, and some branches to climb. These guys can climb quite well. In the wild, they do climb rocks, so they have little sharp claws. And if you use a heat mat or a heat lamp, it really doesn't matter in my opinion. They get the same benefit from them. So it's just basically what you want to do. I highly recommend hooking a heat pad up to a temperature gauge so it doesn't overheat. The next topic we should be covering is substrate. Thought he fell off. Substrate. Now, all these share the same eco-earth substrate, so if it gets inside of them, they can digest it fairly easily. A lot of people don't like sand because it can impact them, and then they can get stuck in their digestive system, which you don't want. That's not very good. So, eco-earth can digest better than sand. Some people put them on paper towel. That's perfectly fine. I'm not a big fan of that because it doesn't look very nice. And some people put them on tile, and the same reason. I don't think it looks very nice, but it does clean up fairly easily. But he's licking my neck. It's climbing. So these guys do sometimes go up to the highest point, which is your head. So, on the back of my neck it tickles. I don't know if you guys can see him. Hopefully you guys can see him. So the next cage, this is Echoes. It's a little bit different. This is more of a desert style theme. These guys do come from arid areas. So a desert environment does work. Same thing, hides are everywhere. They have the rock hide that you can take off the door on. He also has 2 hides that he can go into. One of them does have a heat mat underneath. So I'm just running through most of the cages for you, and I'll unlock them. This is Casper's. He's very similar to Spyro. Exact same morph. Well, I don't know if he's as tame. Okay, just as tame. I don't want to pick him up because I do have Spyro on me. Boys are not supposed to be together that much. But he's just as nice. Put him down a little bit. So you can see multiple hides for him as well. This cage has more of a decor look to it, in my opinion. You see more leaves, this kind of stone structure. So not as open as the other ones. This one has a lot of decor in it that covers a lot of the area. When you're setting up a 20-gallon tank, you have to realize that 20 gallons is a lot smaller than you think it is. So you can't put a lot of decor or big decor in the cage because it fills it up too quickly, and you're going to be spending money just to have decor sit on your shelf next to the cage. Another thing, you don't want to be changing up their cage very often. Oh, the lights just went off. You don't want to be changing up their cage very much because they don't like it, and they really get used to an environment. So don't want to stress them out any more than they have to. So Argo we're not going to pull out because she might be gravid, which is a fancy word for pregnant. So she's going to have to stay inside this cage. She's actually due in a few weeks, so that's really good for us. But here's her cage. You have the same rock structure. So we can open that and see her. We have that Thrive cage. Again, they can climb very well, so they can make it all the way up there and get under that light, which is amazing. And then the human hide right here. Obviously, the cage isn't big enough to accommodate a giant rock structure like Casper's back there. So we have to put in something slightly smaller. This works just as well, though. I don't know if she's in here. No, she's not. But that's the human hide. Helps them shed. That's amazing. You do want to help your geckos shed as much as possible. And you also want to keep water in the cage at all times because they can dehydrate pretty quickly. We have Eevees up here. This is a more basic look to a cage. Not that many hiding spots. Oh, the light just went out. A lot more hiding spots and a little bit of supporting decor, but not that much in there yet. We are going to put more in that cage. He's going up my face. Oh! So yeah, Spyro does interact with me a lot. We have Eevee coming out here, but coming back to the cage, it's a lot more basic of a cage. Few hides, but not that much supporting decor. We will be adding that shortly. Oh. We will be adding that shortly, but it is a slow process. You don't want to shock the lizard when you just bring it home. She's the newest out of the group, so I completely understand why we haven't done it yet. So, but that's pretty much it for housing a leopard gecko. Not a lot goes into these guys when it comes to caging. The cages are small, which is amazing. Not that much decor in there. Easy to feed. And obviously very personable. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to get notified every time we post. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.